to G3 Investors. This is Greg Gallagher, and this is another special report. The chairman of the board, my wife, basically said if I do any more special reports after this, she's going to start calling me Brett Bear. So I ain't going to do that. Okay, here's a 100-year look at the Dow from 1920 to 2020. And this is a simple chart that shows what happened, and it's got a momentum indicator or oscillator down here that's called the 21-day rate of change. It just takes the last 21 days and looks at the rate of change up or down. Okay. What's interesting about this chart is you can see what we had happen here. You got a big drop, and look at, I know it's very hard to see that, but that rate of change oscillator goes clear down almost off the board to like minus 30 or so. So I thought it'd be interesting to go back, since we're taking a long view here, it'd be interesting to go back and say, well, when did we ever have that sort of thing? When we had these breakdowns before from these, roaring, here we had I've talked about before, we had a roaring bull market that started in the Reagan years and, just went up. We had the crash in 1987. Well, look what happened. We had an oscillator that the day of that crash, it went boom, and that was the day. And of course, in this case, the market didn't correct. It didn't correct very much. I mean, it corrected 22% in one day, okay? But it only went down like another 3 or 4%, and then it went right back up, okay? And it really wasn't what I call an angry bear market. But in these cyclical cycles, which I call, they're cycles where the market basically goes nowhere for a period of years. 1929, what did it look like back there? Well, we don't want that to repeat itself, obviously. But here it is, down below 40. It's at minus 40. Well, that's when the market lost 90% of its value. Okay, and I pointed this out before. It took 26 years to recover your money. If you didn't jump out of the window like 90% of the brokers did, this is what happened to you. And it was a long time before you really got your money back, other than the dividends if you had any stock left. Of course, everybody on TV bought on this day, right? Yeah, right. Tell me about it. Anyway, so it's important to look at these periods. Now, here's another long period of sideways consolidation, okay? And, I calculated this one starting in like right around after Johnson got elected. Kennedy died early, and this was a nice little run right here. I mean, it doesn't look that fabulous here because we're not looking at that particular period in time, but that was a nice run. That was a good bull run. And that was basically after the war. We came back. We were the only industrialized nation in the world after World War II, and that really was what got us out of this depression that we were in. And you could honestly say, well, we started right here, or some people like to go back and say right here, right after the war. But whatever you want to look at, this period here was because America was the only industrialized power in the world that survived, World War II. Everybody, we fought everywhere else other than Hawaii, and I don't mean disrespect to anybody because I had uncles and fathers and people who served in World War II, and it's a very sad thing to go through these wars that we do. But this recovery here just went sideways. I mean, this was the Reagan, I don't know, the Reagan, Jimmy Carter, whoever was in there. They were terrible presidents. I mean, and I know I'm a conservative, and I vote most of the time on the conservative side. Not always. I would have voted for Kennedy had I been able to vote. Of course, I'm a Catholic also, so you can understand that. But this was 18 years to get back to where you got a new bull market going. Then we had this correction here. Now here are two recent, what I call angry bear markets. And the funny thing is, one of them didn't even show up on this oscillator. It didn't even show up as a big number. Now, it did here, okay, because that was a pretty strong dip. But this 2000 to 2003 bear market, it took a long time. This one only took 18 months. This one, if it turns into an angry bear market, in my opinion, and it doesn't turn into a depression, which I pray to the Lord above that it doesn't, then it's going to happen pretty quick. What always happens, and this is what I'm trying to get people to understand, is this denial period that you have where it goes down and it goes back up, or it's called well, let's look at the chart. Whoops, I knew I was going to do that. I always do that. Sorry about that. Here's our SPY from 2009 to March 2020. This bull trap that could be developing here, and we bottomed out at 218 and we were at 253.42 when I did this chart. I think it updated through the 27th. Okay, well, this is a denial phase. It's psychologically, but it's a bull trap, and I think that's going to take probably to the end of April to play out. Why do I say that? Well, folks, the president just announced last night that due to the coronavirus, we're not going to open back up by Easter. We're going to remain closed through at least April 30th and possibly longer. People don't understand. And I'm watching the market, and today the market's up 2 or 3%. And all the talking heads on here, they have no clue that this could happen. But I'll tell you, the smart traders do, and I'm going to spend a little time on that, but like Ray Dalio, I was listening to him. I've never heard him he is the number 3 trader of all time, worth $15.3 billion. And the man was, he was depressed in his latest video. And I don't spend a lot of time on this, looking into what other people do. But when they come on TV, I turn the sound up. Hey, if Ray Dalio is going to talk, or Warren Buffett's going to talk, or George Soros, or Carl Icahn, or Stephen Cohn, and whoever is going to talk, I'm going to listen. I'm just a little guy. Our business is not, we're 3 or 4 employees part-time on some of those. So it's a definite possibility that this is what we're going to see here. And we're not going to know until it goes below this low. But if it does, it could be really ugly. Now, we're going to make money on the way up, and we're going to make money on the way down. That's what trading is all about. And the thing of it is, we have no positions. Here, I was going to show you. I'm going to do a video separately, not on this, but I'm going to try to get out and live trade. Nothing's happening today. This is window dressing. I said this to the tier premium members. I said, hey, look, we're not going to be trading much because you got 2 days of window dressing, and then you got the rebalancing that's going to go on. But the big number is going to be this Friday when the unemployment report hits, and there's going to be probably 10 million people unemployed. Now don't worry, Nancy Pelosi negotiated with Donald Trump and they're going to do all this stuff. Bull crap. It's not going to last long. When these bad numbers start hitting in April, when all these companies start reporting and forecasting what they're going to do forward and how many people are going to go bankrupt and never come back. They're never going to come back. My wife and I were driving around in the car, not getting out, keeping our social distancing. Spit it out, Greg. And we're saying to ourselves, that company's not coming back. That company's not coming back. And it's not. We're not trying to be funny. It's just that's the facts. Now, I promise not to spend a lot of time on our results from last week because I already did substantial reports on this, but we are absolutely crushing the market. Okay, and thanks to all the new patrons, thanks to the new YouTube subscribers, keep hitting that like button and keep subscribing. Man, we're growing. It's going. This is a record. This is a record. This is a record, and those are all records. That's why they're all in dark green. So, I'm not. This is what if you become a tier 2, you get these before the market opens. The Corona thing, I'm not going to belay it a lot, but it's a way overreaction to it. I got into that over the weekend in another special report. I do want to show you one thing though. March is stacking up to be one of the biggest years this March right here in the history of G3 investing. We had the biggest one-day gain ever. We had 14 trades, in and out trades. I'm talking about we went from 0 to 14 trades, fully invested, 100% invested, back to 0 in one day, and we made 4.8% or $4,700 on our capital. Then we turned around 1 day later, well, 2 days later, on Friday, we had the biggest 1 day loss of the year. Now, in this case, we were just getting out because we got in on the 26th, and I was able to salvage a little bit of the loss. At one point, I was down $1,500. Okay, and that's Greg Gallagher doesn't like to be down $1,500. I can tell you that, folks, for a fact. All right, let me see if I can find this thing. Okay. Now I had a couple subscribers who asked, well, what do you do? How do you do this? Who do you go to? Well, Seeking Alpha is one of the, there's 500 or 1,000 traders or so on that go in there, and some of these guys are contributors and they write stuff. Most of them are buy and hold guys. They hate guys like me. I can't even get into it to become a contributor. They reject my write-ups when I do them. But, and I've got guys here. Hussman is a negative guy. Okay, I was going to do him by follower. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, this guy is Lance Roberts. He's really good. You know, you can see, I'll show you real quick all of the work he does. And he has 20,000 plus followers. So he's good. This guy is good too. He's got 12,000. Hussman is not liked by anybody, but he's been calling for this thing forever, and apparently his service doesn't satisfy the people in Seeking Alpha. Eric Parnell is really good too. So these guys are all good, and they all understand what's going on, and you know, none of us know what's going to happen, and I'm not trying to say that. And then this guy on YouTube, this is Shivako, Capital Manager, Chris Shivako. He's really good. These guys are more technical, and the difference between me and them is they tell you all about the technical stuff that's going on. Me, I'm a simple guy. I'm just saying, hey, let's just trade this market. It's going up, so let's trade it. Let's have a little bit of a bias to the long side until it goes down. And then when it goes down, let's have a quick bias to the downside, and let's short the market and make money. And that's it. It's that simple. This is Greg Gallagher with G3 Investors saying good luck and good trading.